Today we're going to be looking at the possibility of some of our most popular supernatural serial killers being real. The first case we are looking at is Freddy Krueger. The director had got the idea for the film from a newspaper article he read, in which a young boy was petrified of sleeping. He had told his parents he'd been having nightmares, and if he fell asleep he feared the villain in his dream would kill him. His parents had put this down to an overactive imagination. After the boy had managed to stay awake for 2 days, he finally drifted off into a deep sleep. That night, his parents were woken by a loud scream. By the time his parents made their way into the bedroom, unfortunately the boy had already passed away. Upon examination, experts could not find a cause of death. This is not an isolated incident. In a separate case, 26 Hmong refugees died in their sleeps. Reports say screaming was heard in the night, but when the other refugees went to check on them, they had already passed. Again, experts could not find the cause of death. Is this a real Freddy Krueger, or just a strange coincidence? Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films. The director had got the idea from a murderer named Ed Gein. Ed Gein would go to the cemetery and dig up women that reminded him of his mother, and also killed 2 women. What was found in Ed Gein's home upon investigation was very strange. They had found a belt made from female nipples. All 4 of his bedposts were decorated with human heads, tights that were made from human leg skin, and also masks made from human faces. Ed Gein was very sick, and it's understandable why a horror writer would use him as inspiration. Michael Myers. Now, the Halloween franchise is probably my favourite horror films, but is it possible that a serial killer like Mike Myers could exist today, or maybe existed in the past? While looking for information, I found an article about a man named Stanley Steers. Stanley was switched at birth, and as a result of this, his parents became very abusive towards him after finding out that their child had been killed in a car crash on the way home from the hospital. On the night before Halloween, Stanley was informed he would not be allowed to go trick-or-treating, even though his sister was allowed. This enraged Stanley, and on that night, he stabbed and killed his full family, including the dog. It is unknown how Stanley spent Halloween Day, but on Halloween night, Stanley went trick-or-treating for the first time in his life. While trick-or-treating, Stanley killed all his classmates that had previously bullied him, even breaking into a house and killing a classmate and his full family. Survivors say the 11-year-old boy possessed superhuman strength, throwing fully grown men around like they was rag dolls. The next day, Stanley was found eating sweets on a swing. After Stanley was arrested, he was sent to a mental institute for 13 years. Stanley was released at the age of 24. The following Halloween, Stanley killed again. Officers attempted to kill Stanley by firing over 7 rounds, but the gunshots did not affect Stanley, and he managed to escape, and has never been recaptured since. It is believed that Stanley has killed as recently as 2017. If this is true, then Stanley would be 106 years old and should not possess the hellish strength that he supposedly has. John Carpenter, the director of the Halloween franchise, says he got the idea from visiting a mental institute when he was in university, and he had seen a man with eyes of pure evil. Could that man have been Stanley Steers? Let me know your thoughts in the comments box.